I'm Tom Haddigan. I'm the author and creator of this new YouTube channel dedicated to mixed martial arts. I do other things as well. Currently, I'm a lecturer. I lecture to postgraduates in research methods. Please, if you like the channel, subscribe and also give a like to the individual program. Today I'm looking at UFC 310. This will bring joy to the hearts of any long-term fans of mixed martial arts, because it features this guy on the right here, Nick Diaz. Okay, this is an earlier picture of Nick Diaz when he was in his prime. This is a more recent Nick Diaz. Now, Nick is still a fit guy. He's a triathlete. He works out with his brother. So this is Nick when he's not on the song, but this is Nick when he's really concerned about fitness. At his peak, he was extremely fit. Even today, he's a guy that really cares about fitness. He's an athlete in every sense of the word. Now, his place in the heart of mixed martial artists fans is unique, but it's not always easy to see why if you look at his record. Okay, long since after his glory days, he came back in 2021 and lost to Robbie Lawler. He was in one of his non-fit days. He hadn't worked out sufficiently well to take on Robbie Lawler, an ex-world champion. Earlier, 2015, he returned to fight Anderson Silva. Both of them tested positive for some pharmaceutical product, some metabolite. In his real glory days, he attempted to wrest the world title from Georges St-Pierre. Now, if you've never heard of Georges St-Pierre, Georges St-Pierre was one of the world's great mixed martial artists. I mean, he's an interesting character, very sophisticated. He's an immense, an incredible ambassador for mixed martial arts and sport generally. But he was really the fighter's fighter. He was a technician of genius, really. Unfortunately, Nick, his choice of opponent was maybe not the wisest. Surprised that there was a loss versus Carlos Condit, or to give Carlos credit, he at his peak was a world-class mixed martial artist. I would have thought that Nick Diaz would have beaten Carlos Condit on this occasion. He didn't. Now, this is one of his great victories. BJ Penn, I think, a 2-division world champion, a monumental force in mixed martial arts. So a Nick Diaz beating BJ Penn is a feather in Nick Diaz's cap. Now, this is the important one. Now, if you wonder why on earth anyone would be wanting to see this slightly aged mixed martial artist, you have to know that fans of mixed martial arts know exactly what Nick Diaz represents. He is an absolute monster in the ring. Now, if you want to go to YouTube and look at the Strikeforce matchup between Paul Daly and Nick Diaz, I would strongly recommend coming down to the end here. He beat Frank Shamrock, one of the fathers of mixed martial arts. Okay, this is the key. If you want to understand all the furore around Nick Diaz, then go to this Paul Daly matchup, and then you'll see why fans all over the world love Nick Diaz in particular and the Diaz brothers collectively. All right, so let's find out something about Nick Diaz, widely recognized for his exceptional skills. Here are some of his key talents, obviously visible in his earlier days. Powerful striker, particularly his punches. He's a very skilled grappler. Him and his brother are daily visitors to the gym. He has a good Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He has incredible endurance and he can maintain a high pace. He doesn't have the same cardio that someone like Merab Dvalishvili has, but Merab is unique in this sense, but he does have incredible endurance. His real skill is counter-striking. He can turn opponents' attacks against them. He has mental toughness. This is his real gift. He just knows how to get inside the heads of his opponents. He's street smart and street savvy. He's just a tough guy. He knows how to unnerve his opponents, and he's done it many times. Strong fan base. It's rather like the Beatles. If you've heard the music of the Beatles, you're going to love just their memory. I mean, if you really love mixed martial arts, then you're going to love the heydays of Nick Diaz. Okay, I think I've read this somewhere before. Overall, Nick Diaz's combination of striking, grappling, endurance, and psychological tactics make him a formidable opponent in the MMA world. All right, this is the many faces of Nick Diaz. This is a young Nick Diaz when he was a tough guy. This is later, towards the end of his career, contemporarily, but he's still fit. He's a triathlete. This is Nick when he doesn't really want to spend too much time in the gym. Okay, let's have a look now at Vincente Luque. Okay, this is recent records. Lost in 2019 to Stephen Thompson. He was about 35. That's... Thompson at the peak of his career was outstanding. He beat Tyron Woodley, who then went on to win the World Championship. He beat Michael Chiesa. He lost to Belal Muhammad, who's a current world champion. He lost to Jeff Neal, who's an outstanding mixed martial artist. And he beat Rafael dos Anjos, who was a world champion. So he has beaten world champions. Lost in his last visit to Joachim Buckley. This is his earlier record. He had a good win over Mike Perry in 2019. UFC, Shevchenko versus Carmouche. Beat Brian Barberena. Brian Barberena is a good mixed martial artist. And of course he lost to Leon Edwards in 2017. Leon Edwards became a world champion. He beat Belal Muhammad in 2016. Belal Muhammad, of course, is the current world champion. Okay, Vincente Luque, the silent assassin. Strong striking game. A lot of his wins come from knockouts, technical knockouts. He's a skilled grappler, has notable victories by submission. He has a range of submission techniques, including chokes and joint locks. He's a versatile fighter. He has good endurance and ability to maintain a high pace. He's called the silent assassin because he has that sort of ability to remain calm and composed at all points in the matchup. He has a very strong fan base, not quite to the same extent. Nick Diaz's fans are fanatical. I think he has, because he's an artist in the true sense of the word, people appreciate Vincente Luque's skill set.